Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to week 4 and our session of the week. This is actually also a wrap up as we go into week 4 and the end of the moderator professional development for EVO22. So I've got Cheryl there, who's going to be co-facilitating with me. Mushtaq, who's not here, there's a holiday in India right now, and Jane is here to summarize week 3. So that's our team. For anyone who's interested, you're welcome to contact any of us. That's on the presentation. I'll share the link to the presentation later on, but it's also on Canvas for week 4. So Jane, if you could go on.
Thank you, Nellie. Okay, I'm going to do a quick summary of week 3. I really enjoyed your discussions and your postings on week 3. We really had a lot of discussions on online spaces. This is something that Cynthia has posted, the different spaces that or tools that she used for on her that she uses daily or for her classes, and she's going to incorporate some of the tools in our EVO sessions. And noticed we have somebody also mentioned about Teams. A lot of the sessions are using Canvas. We haven't really some of you have already tried out Edmodo, but nobody, not that I know of, none of the sessions are using Edmodo for their platform. I know that the looted what's that, the James session, as they're using Google Documents and Discord. A couple of you mentioned about Flipgrid, Padlet, and Jamboard. Also, Vicky mentioned about Genially, and that was great. Okay, so these are some online spaces. Also, for week 3, we talked about badges, and there's like a debate going on there. Some of the moderators are they're not into badges, and some are. This is the badger system that I set up for our EVO moderator professional development. And like, as you can see, Cynthia, she's the one who's really into badges, and she ranked the top among the top. We have Karen is also here, and they've all earned 4 badges so far. Okay, so usually when I have sessions or courses on Canvas, I really like to use Badger, not just to motivate the students to complete the task, but to allow it also allows me to track who's completed all the tasks for that module. So this is my way of tracking. We have the Ludic Language Pedagogy team suggesting that they are not using the badges, and they have provided a recipe for meaningful gamification. I don't know if any of the Ludic Language Pedagogy team moderators are here today. If you like to quickly grab the mic. I guess it's too late for them because it's they're in Japan, and it would be 11 o'clock for them at night. So basically they were James and Jonathan, they were saying they would really like to engage the learners, and through reflection and through feedback to engage the learners to learn together, not learners, but participants. And so this also reminded me of, I don't know if you're familiar with Octalysis by Yu-Kai Chow. And these are the 8 core drives of gamification. And as he listed, the definition of gamification here is that is the craft of deriving all the fun and engaging elements found in games and applying them to real world or productive activities. And here, productive activities, you know, we're looking at our sessions, and if you can see the second core drive, which is accomplishment here, they have the badges and the leaderboards and the progress bars. And this is, so badges was only one of the core drives to gamification. And so we could also consider all these 8 core drives, like epic, providing an epic meaning, empowering our participants, their creativity, their engagement, and social influence being, we're joined here together as a group of professionals in developing our our career, learning more from our peers, and also the unpredictable. I'm not sure about unpredictability, because this is something you are engaged in, something because you want to know, you don't know what's going on next, such as you're watching a movie, you're hooked because you wanted to know what's going on next. Perhaps providing sessions that really interest the participants is something that we could provide, like glowing choice, mini quests, or tasks that involves our participants. This part is like ownership, number 4, ownership, and scarcity. I'm not sure about if we could provide like scarcity. All the participants are free to log on. They're all free professional developments, our sessions. So not avoidance, I would say. No participants will be punished for not doing their tasks. So, but this is something that we can consider. The top ones are so-called white hat kick gamification, and the bottom ones are black hat gamification. And on the left hand side, this is what he called left brain. Core drives they're more like extrinsic motivation, like accomplishment, ownership. Okay, but on the right hand side, these are more like intrinsic motivation, empowerment, social influence, and willing to know more because of its unpredictability. So yeah, so that's this. I thought to brought this up because Jonathan and their team has brought up this recipe for meaningful gamification, and we could all consider using these core drive elements and add to that our sessions to engage our participants. Also, in our third week, we have a lot of the sessions provided. A lot of our sessions provided your login info, your sessions for us to get into and looked at. And I've done some print screening for the ones who are like well complete. And this is Moodle for Teachers. And so Nellie's session, she has her weekly badges, the weekly badges up front, and explaining how it works in the open badge system. I really like that. And all the four sessions and 5 sessions, weekly sessions are ready with in the end, the certificate of participation information is ready for the participants once they completed the 5-week session. So this is a great example, and I've noticed that some of you are still working on your sessions, and you haven't provided, you have not had chance, or you're not ready to provide your login info. That's fine. We still have 1 week to work on your session. I have provided my own session. This was something that I've done last year on Canvas. So a tip there's something I did was for each video, I would indicate how long it is. And, or for each reading, I would suggest, okay, you would be spending like 15 minutes in reading this. So just to provide the participants some so that they could arrange their time and, how long they're going to spend on the module. So this is a quick wrap up, and we have a lot of the sessions have already provided your login information, and we are able to go inside and see the designs and your modules, the 5-week modules. But for some sessions, I guess because you've locked your weekly modules, so I was only able to get into the first part of it and not the later part unless I finish the tasks. So I might suggest that you could open up all the modules without locking them, so that we could really give you, feedback and on your session. So that's the summary of week 3. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, if not, then I'm gonna give the floor baton to Nellie.
I want to make a point here. Jane, that page that thank you for doing that. That was very kind of you. Too Little for Teachers has actually changed, because the dates, if anyone picked it up, maybe not now, but in the recording, if anyone should pick that up, the dates are last year's. What I do is I reset the Moodle course, the EVO sessions each year, so that we only change, the old sessions, we only change the dates. So it's not from the 11th, week 1 is not from the 11th to the 17th, it's from the 10th to the 16th. So I don't know if anyone picked up on that.
No, I haven't.
But I just want, okay, so I just want to clarify, so you don't learn from, something that, see, that is not, it has changed. If you go in there now, and what I did do on Moodle, of course, I made it available for guests, so you can go in as a guest. So I hope that makes life easier for everyone. I don't know if you can do that. Maybe you can answer, Jane. Can you do that? Or anyone else can just pick up the mic and answer, or, not interrupt, but ask questions. It doesn't interrupt me about anything as we walk you through week 4. But Canvas, can you allow everyone to see everything as a guest? Not necessarily as a participant, but just as a guest, just to browse through? Is that an option?
I'm not sure if as a guest, but as a student, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So
on Moodle,
yeah.
you can as a guest, and you just go through everything. Because if you start taking the activities and everything, you're going to be part of it, and that's going to kind of mess up. So that's why guest is good. All right. Thank you, Jane. That was absolutely amazing. Love the badge philosophy there. That looks great. All right. So week 4, is everybody ready for week 4? If you're not, don't worry, because things overlap. So if you haven't really finished week 3, you'll notice an overlap as we go through week 4. So in week 4, you will complete your session syllabus. Yay! In the proposal wiki, so everything will be complete. You're going to post the links to your sessions. That's important. Jane mentioned that. All the links should be there. You should check them out, make sure they're correct to your spaces, whatever you're using, and continue visiting each other's sessions. Give your feedback as much as you can. Ideas that you may have picked up that you like. It's always nice to share positive feedback. It helps on the spaces, and of course reflect on your own session as much as you can. even before you start. Continue to read, think, and share information about online moderation. If you find any great reading, please share it with us. And of course, complete your evaluation survey and participate in the post-mod. That's also available on the Canvas for week 4. Well, complete the proposal. What does it mean? It's not really the syllabus, it's everything. So you need to have a session title. So if you haven't decided yet, decide on a short title, shouldn't be too long. Logo, set whatever logo you want. I know I went through a lot of logos before I decided. It wasn't easy. Get your abstract ready. Go over the wording again and again and make sure that it's appealing. You want we're actually fighting for participants. So make sure that your abstract is very, very catchy so that participants join you, your target audience listed, your session objectives. The syllabus consists of week 1 to 5. Make sure the dates are correct and you have everything there that will help the participants understand what's happening. Add your activities. It also helps you set things up for yourself. The requirements, there are requirements, whether it's technical or other requirements, add them. Communication tools or whatever platform you're using, asynchronous, synchronous, and any other tools that you'd like to add. You can always add tools later on. Of course, this is online learning, so it's okay to make changes, slight changes as you go, according to your participants' needs. And of course, add the sponsor. It doesn't matter who you add, just add a sponsor. That's fine. And then you can think about it and maybe change it, but we can discuss that as well if you're not sure. We can discuss any of these things. Whatever you're not sure about, feel free to discuss. Moderators, make sure that all the moderators are listed, their bios, photos, emails, and so on. Make sure the primary contact is there. These are all things that we'll be checking for so that if you have everything ready, your proposal will be off and you'll start your session in January. Acknowledgement, and this is really, really important. So contact your primary contact if you need to, but you need to add your name on the wiki under acknowledgement. I acknowledge that. Please read that very, very carefully. And then links to online spaces for sense. What is that? For the session. Sorry about that. That was late at night. Cheryl, would you like to continue?
Yes, I can
Great.
do that.
All right.
Okay. So visiting other sessions, right? What did you find in other sessions? This is the thing. If you will kind of journal your way through this with brief notes, then you can add in there what you think is really, really good, as well as things that, oh, I could use that, or things that you think they might consider. And, you know, it's okay to list them because I actually just put what I was thinking about badges, and my idea about badges has changed since the beginning. I didn't particularly think badges were very cool when I first started, but the more I use them, the more I realized people like them, and that was amazing to me. But anyway, don't feel bad about putting something on there that they're not going to use, but at least you've mentioned it in case they hadn't thought of it. And anything else that you can think of that will help them to and help you figure out what you're going to do. How is it going? Yes. And then reflecting, that's where you take your little journaling notes, your accomplishments and getting your sessions ready, your frustrations with setting up an LMS or getting anything else ready, any strengths and or weaknesses of what you've prepared with reference to the criteria for interactive learning. Now, this is probably the point where I would like to mention something that you probably already know, but I know every time I try to do something different or new, sometimes I forget the things I know. And you know, there is the grandparent rule for saving information. And it has actually saved a lot of people. And one year it did not save me because I did not use it. So you
Cheryl,
never know.
sorry, Cheryl, can you elaborate on that? Maybe not everyone knows what
Yes,
you mean.
yes, I will. Because you just don't know when something might accidentally happen that you can't get back. We're so lucky we have things that we have history on and stuff like that. So you can get some things back, but other things you can't get back. So what that means is I write something for a particular session, and maybe it's just a particular day activity, but I went into a lot of detail, and I have a lot of things that I want to make sure is in there. And so whenever I do that, I do use journaling. I've learned to do this, but you don't have to do that. Basically, just cut and paste it onto a piece of like a Word document or some other kind of document, Google Docs, whatever, and then label what it is and then move on. Now, when you're finished, you take that Google Doc or wherever you saved all this stuff, and then you save it to another place, not on your desktop, but to maybe a jump drive or something like that. So then you have the child, that you have the original, then you have the next one, which they used to call it child, father, grandfather, okay, or child, mother, grandmother. So that's why it's called the grandparent rule for saving things. And it's been around a long time, but I think maybe people might call it something different, but it has saved me many times, and I have failed sometimes when I did not use it. So you just never know. And that's the point, isn't it? We wear a seatbelt in the car, not because we're going to get in an accident every time we get in the car, but just in case. It's good to have a seatbelt. So think of these things as something like that. Does that make sense, Nellie, what I said there?
Yes, it does. And I think it's really important, especially for people like me who don't use it. I mean, I might just forget one day.
That's right. And that's me. Yeah, that's me. So I probably don't save everything like that, like the titles or labels, but anything where I've added detail, I make sure that I save that anymore. And if you only get to a parent, you go from the child to the parent, it's okay. Just, 2 is good, 3 is best. Okay.
And I think this is very important, Cheryl. What Cheryl has done now is to demonstrate exactly what we'd like you to do. And that is share tips. We all have so much background and experience in different places that we can share and learn. And that's what it's all about, of course. EVO is about learning from and with each other. So any tips or advice that come up, like the one that Cheryl just shared, share with us. Be open.
Yes.
The more open you are, the more you model openness and the passion or interest in learning. You'll pass this on to your students. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to practice this enthusiasm. So thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. Number 5. Cheryl, would you like to explain what this is about?
Yes. Okay, so your feedback is very important to us. Now, I know feedback can take many different avenues, but mostly this one in particular is about our survey that we're going to finish after you finish all this moderator professional development. And that's another place where I definitely keep track of what I said, because I have to keep track of learning points and things like that. So if I can refer back to what I liked and what happened and what did work well, then I've got that. And that's what you get a chance to do here. On the survey, tell us what you really liked, how was it helpful or not helpful, and there'll be a place for suggestions, and you can put whatever you want. We hope that everything went well for you, but if something didn't quite go well, first ask somebody, and then if that didn't work, then, you can put it on hopefully not on the survey, but if you need to, you can. So that needs to be done before you finish. This is a must
really
do.
Important. By December 1st, 2021. I can't believe I made that mistake. All right. So if anybody's there, please change it. All right. I think what's important here is the distinction that I think Jane mentioned between reflections
Mhm.
and feedback. Feedback is not your reflections. It's more of what you saw and what you think of the moderator professional development session. It's not about really your feelings, that's more of your reflections. And if you click on the slide, you'll be able to go straight into the survey. All right, so Cheryl, what's next? Shall we look at it? All right, so these are the things, again, that you
Sorry.
need to check for. Oh, did I lose you, Cheryl? Sorry.
I muted myself while you were
Oh,
talking.
all
but-
right. But anyways, it was just a rhetorical question.
Yes.
So it's okay. So notice the important dates, and we'll go through them in a minute. But it's important that you follow the template in your proposal and just complete it. Get everything ready so that it's ready. And you might want to think about badges. Jane mentioned them and you talked about them in week 3, as well as about the certificates. You don't have to have a certificate, but if you do, think of the reasons why you would want one. Same with badges. You don't have to do things. You have to feel comfortable about what you're doing. And these are the dates. And I want to thank Peter, of course, for creating this amazing image. All right, so first of all, we went through September 12, 26. Now we're finishing October 17 to November 14. I think, isn't that not correct? Well, that's when we're going to finish. Okay, but you might want to go on with a post. Well, you have to go on with a post. That's going to take a bit longer. November 28, remember the date. That's the official acceptance of proposals, which means that by the 27th, everything has to be ready so we can start evaluating things and deciding on the final call for participation. And you'll get that. And the date, notice, is December 5th. That's the call for participation. That's when we open everything up for the world to be able to join the sessions. There'll be a list of sessions, and hopefully everyone's session will be included. So make sure that you complete everything. And then the highlight of the year for me, and that is January to February. I always say this, right, Cheryl? That is the highlight of the year for me. When I get a chance to moderate my EVO sessions in this case. So the registration is from January 2nd to the 9th, and you can add that to your registration instructions. And then from January 10th to February 13th, that's when EVO 2022 will take place. And I think that we're almost there, except for the post-moderator PD. Feel free to ask questions, just unmute yourself. Or Cheryl, are there any questions in the chat? I haven't checked the chat.
No, I just looked, not that I could see of right now.
Okay, I prefer audio. I love to hear people's voices in a Zoom meeting. Actually, I need, so it's so nice to have you there, Cheryl. You know, I feel like I'm not alone in this.
I always forget to
screen.
mute myself, so I guess
No,
that's a good
okay.
thing.
No, that's a good thing. It's great. And everybody else can unmute themselves and feel free to just say, yes, got it. Or, you know, just a response to make us feel like, you know, they're other beings. We're not, you know, just our computers and just technology here, but we've got the human aspect. So tasks for the period between now and December 1st. This is it, even though the 28th is the last day, right? That's 27th, 28th, we start proctoring. So complete your expanded syllabus, which means everything on that page should be ready, taking into account the advice of your mentor, if you got such advice, or from your colleagues or anyone. Take into account any comments. You can take them or not take them. It's up to you, but at least acknowledge them that you got on Canvas. Be sure to link your session page. Now, this is super important. We can't put up your proposal, or it's not going to be a proposal anymore. We can't put up your session if you don't have the links. Where are people going to go? So keep that in mind. People will be seeing your page and they'll want to know how to register and make sure that all the links are working. And that's important. It's in red. I hate putting things in red, but it was there already from years past. So there it goes. And then we have the post mod. And that is to, again, remember to visit your LMS. You might not be using an LMS. That's fine. Whatever you've decided to use, whatever spaces, make sure that you visit others as well, so you get a sense of what's going on, and post your impressions and comments. We need this, okay? As teachers, we need to hear from each other. You know, we're all alone in the classroom, basically, or on Zoom if we're all alone. We need each other. We need to hear from each other. We want to know what you think. We might not like it, but we still want to know. Okay, so your feedback, and whether positive or negative, is important to us. Yes, go ahead.
So that is really critical, because I work with a couple of people that are really excellent, and so I kind of let them do the thing, and then I am a really good editor. I cannot tell you, I'm not the perfect editor, but I'm better than I thought I should be. But it's nice for me or someone else to go through your work. And I like to have an editor too, because sometimes sometimes when you copy and paste, there might not be spaces between the words, or maybe they got capitalized accidentally, or maybe like we had here, like accidentally the wrong year. So exactly. It's really a great service that you're doing by checking everybody else's stuff, and check the links. Please check the links, because sometimes we think we have them all, but we may not. So click on the links and see if they go where they say they're supposed to go.
Not just that, they may be broken. Maybe we've added the wrong link. I mean, it happens. So that's important. Thank you.
Oh, and if they're not using an LMS, well, I suppose they have a system, but make sure that your system is obvious. Okay, make sure that people can understand your system, that whatever system you're using is working like a learning management system. If you didn't pick Moodle, but I don't know what else they might have picked.
Canvas. Oh, you mean
Canvas.
Something else? Canvas, or Google Classroom, maybe, or WhatsApp. I don't know.
Yeah. So the ones that I think you went from one thing to Discord. Anytime you do something like you're asking people to change, especially the first time they've been in a session, they're going to become totally discombobulated. I mean, I'm not saying that as everybody's going to, but it happens frequently, and to very smart people. So just make sure that it's all easy to look at and easy to click on, and it goes right to where it's supposed to go, and the directions are clear and simple. That's one thing I have to work on, my directions. Because I get to writing, I do just like I talk, right? Too much. So
another thing, thank you, Cheryl. Another thing is ongoing communication online. I'm sure you realize that, everybody, but online communication is very, very important. It has to be ongoing and constantly. That's what I do. And that's how you build trust with your participants. If you respond, they may ask the same question a million times, but that's okay. You know, it's okay not to know. And you'll be surprised at, at some of the questions that you get about learning online. And that's fine, even though, most teachers have had experience in the past 2 years due to COVID, but nonetheless, there are questions. So don't be afraid to ask, and be ready to answer. It's important. We learn from questions. We learn how to support others, and questions move us forward. So every question, as I say, is brilliant. So let your participants ask. The Canvas space, the Mod PD for 2022 will be open. So feel free to use it for your SOS or for anything to ask questions anywhere, use the support, any support. And what I like to say is every question is brilliant. What others like to say, there are no dumb questions. Whatever you say, it leads to the same thing. Ask, ask, ask. Don't be afraid. And that way your students won't be afraid when you tell them to ask. So model what you'd like to see in your students. And of course, the post-mod, again, let me repeat that. Give back to us by filling in the feedback form. That's your way of saying thank you and our way of saying thank you. So thank you to everyone. Let the fun begin. Now for questions. So I'm going to stop screen sharing and let everybody turn on their cameras if they wish, or at least, there we go. Am I getting everybody? Cheryl, the gallery. It's
I
only the-
think they're coming
Hi
on. Look at them
there.
there.
Hi there. How do you pronounce your name? You have to tell me.
Ece.
Say it again.
It's Ece.
Ece.
AJ.
Okay.
Ece.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ece. It sounds almost Hungarian. Ece.
So it's Ece. Like I'm based in Italy, and they call me Ece mostly.
Oh,
so
right,
I
right. But it's a Turkish name, isn't it?
It's a Turkish name. It's a
Yeah, yeah.
Turkish-
Well,
that's
Turkish
right.
Oh,
sometimes
yeah. Well,
sounds like
that's why the
Hungarian.
C. Yeah.
Yes.
Like
That's
Cenk
true.
Uygur.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
And I see Sylvia's here. Good to see you. Really nice to see. And Jack. Hi, Jack. Hope the weather's not too cold where you are.
Not
And
yet.
Oh, that's good.
Good.
That's
Coming soon.
coming soon. And I see you're
Mhm.
getting ready with a jacket there. So
Yeah.
it's
Oh
probably
yeah. Yeah.
windy.
No, good to see everybody here. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Hi, Sue. Anyone
Hi.
else? Cynthia, great to see you. And Sonia. Wow. And who else? Karen. Hi, Karen. You know, I didn't know anything about your country. I feel embarrassed that I never even heard of it. I mean, I know the territory, but so thank you for being, I mean, I don't think we've ever had a participant from that area, Karen. So
great to be with you.
Thank you. And Vicky, hi there, Vicky. Anyone else feel free to, and Zainab, hi there. I feel like it's a family, right, Zainab?
Yeah.
We've never met, but it's amazing how close you feel to people that you've worked with, you know, for a while, right? All right. So thank you, everyone. If there aren't any questions, you know, feel free to, if you think of any, to add them on Canvas. And
Thank you very much for the hard work. Thank you for all the support.
your
seriously.
hard work. You're the ones doing the hard work. We're just enjoying,
And
you know,
for the great
replying
support.
to-
Thank you.
yes. Thank you for the encouragement.
Who said that?
Jack did.
Jack did. There you are.
And I'll say it again. Thank you for the encouragement. It's
Thank you for
it's
saying that.
really
That's
important to feel
very
supported.
encouraging.
It's
Yeah.
It should. Thank you.
You'll love
And
it.
there's Musakiko. Watan, you like to call yourself Watan, right?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Sure.
So you're coming from Japan, right? So it must be very late.
Right.
Anyways, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I'll let everybody go and end the meeting. So
Can we grab a quick screenshot? Since
Yes,
everybody's,
please.
Oh,
we have
right.
everybody's.
okay, so smile, everyone.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
That's great. Who's that?
That's great.
Somebody's Ken.
Oh, wait.
Ah, Maria. Hi,
Maria.
Maria. Good to see you. How are you? Haven't seen your face for a while.
Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Yay, thank you. My cam don't work. I got that.
This is
All
so
right.
funny.
So good morning, good afternoon, and good night to those that are going to